going. My stencil is off. Oh, how did that happen? Okay. Okay, so let's see if there's a little behind the scenes that we can do. So we go this, and then we go to CTM stencil, and what we can do is we can go like up, and then start adjusting. I wonder what happens. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Beautiful. I don't think I've played in like 2 weeks, so I do apologize for the inconvenience. I think I'm just it's weird. The capture card that I'm using like doesn't work with my camera well. So I get stretched by default. I've tried to fix it. But I might just be like this. It's genuinely so hard for me to tell. Because it's subtle. Wonder if I can feel. Yeah, that does look kinda. I don't know. Vandy in the past has gotten on me for. Oh, wrong one. Shift. For doing it too much. Like, I don't know. How does that look? I think that looks close. I think that looks close. Well, let's just say like Infinite Company Snacks has like not treated me kindly. Wrong adjustments. Favorite Tetris game? A, I guess. None of them are like exceptional. Dash practice? You could, yeah, you could say that. Yeah, it's fairly easy. Okay. New background, thank you. How's it going? Leora, I was on your stream earlier. I was gonna cue you. But I decided I did not want to like wait for Channel 1, so. We had a good time. It looked like a good time. I think when I was there, you were playing like 1 PPS against somebody. Yeah. I have like 4 runs. Pause. I have 4 runs, I think, maybe 5 that are 55 lines or higher. Like 3 of them were within a few minutes of each other, and I have not gotten to 60. Oh, right, there's a stats sheets too. I haven't thought about that in ages. But I want today to kind of just be a training day, so I don't think I'll be digging it out. I've had better. Slow tapping is hard. Okay, okay. Here you go. Have I had this guy for 10 years now? It's been so long. Alright, I remember how to stack it. I remember thinking it was so weird that people that like I would always get like 50 people at a time watching the color grinds. This camera quality is funny. Yeah, it's so I'm using the cam link and it isn't technically compatible with my D2i. And there's a lot of other stuff like I have to manual focus it and that is hard. So I'm just like not worrying about it too much. Oh god, oh yeah. I don't think an alternative would like be substantially better. This thing's like old. Alright. Is it? Okay. Okay, one sec. $50 watching NTSC. According to the conversion. What is the conversion rate? Slightly less than 2? Oh, PAL. I see what you mean, that's clever. Did I want that 4x USB? Oh, yeah, I need to, like, start hounding people for their registration fees, too. Like, it's very strictly, like, as long as it is taken care of eventually. Kind of thing. But still. Okay, necessary, quick tap wall charge, and... Will you hit 20 with regular drama? Couldn't go for the big clear there. Did they at least pay for... I like, felt bad because I realized that a lot of people who didn't pay for the pizza were going to just end up eating the pizza anyways. So I also need to refund everybody, and... I don't know, it is like $7. I doubt people will be clamoring to get their $7 back, but I should do it eventually. Why Fractal did? No, I'm just that, like that. I don't know, how, like, how do the, Tetris blocks in the back look? Do they look, like, proportional? I tried to adjust to that, but... who knows? Oh, wait, that was wrong. Is it not just 4-3 stretch? It's something scuffed, I think. because the capture also doesn't like isn't like clean. Like there are like black borders. What is happening is that it's directly translating like what is on. It's directly translating what's on the camera preview screen, and it is not 1920 1080, and it does not like have like a natively supported option to like be like this. I did adjust to my Kallax. I don't know. Does it still look like slightly? Does it still look off? I could look at it again. Good night, Wally. I guess. Here. It's like not even. Oh, I forgot the ones in the like. This one is like not that square, right? I don't know. I think the lens is also. Like I could just like do like this. I don't know. Do we send it? Is this fine? Does this look? Do I look normal? Do I look non? Copy the scene and reset transform. It'll work out the aspect. No, but the aspect. But. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Here, let me just. Okay. Here is. Oh, here's the reset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're back. So do as thou wilt. Oh. Yeah, 1920 1080. Oh, that was good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I can't hit force. It was a good pizza, at least. What do y'all think of Domino's? I happen to quite like it. Easy is a big fan on that. What is the res that I have the cam link set to? 1080? Yeah. Or 1920 1080, I think. This is configured in OBS. There are like other like canvases I could set to. Like I remember, I think 1080 might not be optimal in some sense. But I don't know. I'm also like not entirely sure that the T2i screen is like perfectly 4:3 anyways. Mine will only do the source. Like even if you go into like the OBS menu and like try and set the resolution. OBS on Linux. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I'm not able to get a resolution that like really makes sense. I think the problem is that like the raw pixel count is like in the low, in like the mid hundreds. So it's doing so I believe it's trying to do some scaling that's weird, but I don't actually know which of the options is correct. And it's been annoying because the borders are like a weird size. So this is my life. And I've not even hit 30 yet. When I say that, I meant 30 lines, not 30 years of age. I realize there are different applications. No, I keep doing it wrong! Okay, that was... Oh, I love that. Greatest JPs of all time. You're like, right. Oh my god! Are you gonna tell them? I am so bad at this game. $1620, 1080. and then crop. Okay. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so RE 1620, you say? So like this? That could be it. I'm gonna eyeball this now because. Oh, what? Okay. Why does it do that? Well, I'm trying to just like extend it normally, and then the moment I do, it does this. Can I lock aspect ratio? Like, do you see? It's like instant. But yeah, that looks good. Okay. We can probably map this actually. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, height is 1333. So if the normal height is 1080, then it's 1333 divided by 1080 times 1920. By times 1620. Apologies. So 2000. Okay, so so it actually just was 4.3? Okay. Neat. And then I have to fix more things. I go like that, and then like that, and no, it's not like entirely flush, so I go like that, and then I go like that, and now it is perfect. Thank you. Oh, it was 3-2. Oh, okay. 1620 1080 does not. It feels weird. I don't know. That does not seem like a 3-2 ratio in my mind. That was ended up okay. Yeah, I have to, but I have to think about it in order to like come to the conclusion. It's like certain numbers you just look at and you can tell things about them. Like you look at like 57 and you know that's a prime number, for example. As a matter of fact, it is. Oh my god, wall charges are so hard. That was wrong. Any mappers? A bunch of the more obscure ones do, for sure. A pretty common pattern you'll see if you like start like looking through the mapper registry is that a lot of them are like take popular mapper, change like 2 numbers, and bam, new thing. I think the one that I remember is that like 189, I think, has like a basic scanline counter. And that's like the lightweights MMC3. But I think that I remember experimenting with it for like some of my hacks, but it unfortunately has poor compatibility, at least with my ABS setup at the time, so... I get this. That would do it. Oh. Oh, please. Oh my god. Okay, yes. Oh, I missed it. I could have gotten out of it. As long as it's not done. Are you gonna ditch MMC5 then? That's a tragedy. Actually, does MMC3 have swappable SRAM by defaults, or is this like something like, is this like Mapper abuse? CHRM is no good, I think. For the thing that I want. As far as official carts go, anything I've seen that has CH character RAM is like super limited. PRG RAM, but what is your solution? Like, does it require your custom shit, or...? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I want. Like, I think if it has to be on custom RAM, it's fine. Basically, what I want to do is I want to make a replay hack. So the idea would be when you top out, you could go jump directly to the end of the game, and you could rewind and go forward for the P sequence. And there's a lot of things that like I want this hack to have for it to feel useful for me. And that creates many restrictions that I don't think are possible to get around. Because basically, so like I want to be storing input sequences effectively, and that's tough because, I wanted to be able to show mechanical mistakes. So being able to see inputs along with the placements like would be very good. Ines Trainer to insert parameters. I want this to work in console too. So these, I think MMC5. The funny thing is, I think MMC5 works, but I imagine like acquiring an MMC5 cartridge is like so expensive in itself. That like custom cart would probably be cheaper. How's it going, Mari? Thanks for the raid. Did you end up qualifying? I was hanging out with Wiley on stream yesterday. He said that you two were gonna do a simul thing at some point. Caribbean King is it character banking for MC5 too? I thought they had swappable PRG RAM. I remember reading about this. I was in New York for the docu premiere, and I had the brilliant idea to like walk 2 hours back to my hotel right before we were supposed to go to the actual venue. Or 2 hours, like basically, no, I was 2 hours away from my, hotel. And we had 2.5 hours until we were supposed to like meet up and start the documentary things. Like, all like the theatrical bits for it. So I was like, you know what? I enjoy exercise. I enjoy walking around cities and just like absorbing the sights. I will walk back, and I did this while my phone was at 6% at the start of it, and I didn't know where I was going, so I had to open it and check Google Maps. So I was trying to ration as hard as I possibly could. I think I did a really horrible job of it. I ended up catching a ferry in the middle of it that I think was on a 40-minute time interval, and I just got there in time. Does not know what a subway is? I took the subway to get to this place. But I was like, you know what? Walking is fun. Do I fit a ferry? In where? Like, there was a river. I crossed it. I'm sure the river has a name. Brooklyn to Tribeca. That sounds about right. Like, it was pretty necessary from what I remember of the map, but my recall of it is not exactly the greatest. Oh, I think I did before doing ST. Okay, I see. Maybe it was genuinely. I will not be able to offer anything more resembling feedback. Yeah. How does this work? How, man? And still no LBs! I can hit the frame perfect rotations now, that's cool. At least I think they're frame perfect. That seems tight. And one frame of lag when you are on 50 hertz. It does not feel great. I'm pretty sure it was Brooklyn. And I wonder how they're doing. I don't personally have the highest of hopes for the documentary making it outside. But I also have no context for what timelines for this are like. Oh, I did. Okay, so I did get it. My hotel room was very close. In fact, we were meeting inside the hotel, but I went out to Brooklyn to have lunch with a friend. Like, if it was actually a 2-hour walk to get to the meeting spot, then, like, I would definitely have not walked because I'm supposed to look presentable. And, like, I needed a long cold shower by the time I got back. Okay. It's actually crazy how much easier 2 feels. Like, let me see if I can demonstrate with real results. Like, that just looks a lot lower for no reason at all. Oh my god, I'm gonna just mess it up. Sure. You'll want to look later. Not the most important detail thing in my life, but thank you. Okay, it's mechanical. It's mechanical. I did the thing. I made the Wily stack. Okay, so that's the timing for 3. Which, judging by how high I cleared that, it might mean it's the timing for 4 as well. Yeah, I don't know, this just feels way more comfortable. If we had gotten it immediately, that would have been insane. Romantasy. Oh, you're in that phase of your life. Ooh. Hey, you're the one who called that. I ain't judging. Ow! Good replacement for endless fish. Yeah. Huh? I thought I overshifted that. Okay. Hello, Madame Meme. Love to see more exhaust. So, I'm very bullish on exhaustion as a format. The problem is that, like, it's a ROM hack format. And we don't, as of yet, have, like, the technology for this to be, like, mass distributable for a lot of people. No, it doesn't clear that does. Isn't that what EverDrives are for? Yeah, but not enough people have EverDrives, and EverDrives are, like, pretty expensive. You didn't call it surf. What did you? I guess. And... There we go. And that doesn't even need dust. Or doesn't even need quick tap. Oh, how? I pressed. I think I pressed the rotation button and then it under-rotated. Dominoes exist. It's not good, but it's not offensive. Yeah. I tend to have... I think a pretty low, like, barrier for what I considered good food. I think this is an evolutionary advantage for myself because... I can feel pretty happy with something that's basic. Okay, good run. I think my PB on this is greater than 100, less than 110. It would be nice to get 100 on stream. I'm bad. Okay, it's not gonna be this run. Okay, good potatoes are like good though. I'm also perfectly happy to, like, literally eat the same thing over and over and over and over again if I like it sufficiently. No! This is the second time! Yeah. Like, my office, they have, like, the same, like, breakfast rotation from now until the end of time. And I enjoy the breakfast. I think they do the scrambled eggs well. And they have bacon, and I like bacon. One piece. Two, there we go. Oh, that's perfect. That is exceptionally quick. How? You should. I need friends in Seattle. All the Tetris people who live here, I only see them like once a month at most. Did you mention something about them letting you choose your location after a year? I think it's... I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think it's like once you get... like maybe once you get promoted, it's then I will not have motivations to like not go to the office unless things substantially change for me though, so it's not something I'm actively thinking of. Get back on the CS grinds. Wait, Meme, do you have free time? Anything but free time? Wait, what are you doing then? Is CDWC just like being brutal? I don't have anything. You like design, right? Also, Sword, are you still in the chat? I suppose I could check this after this game ends. What's my IQ? I genuinely have no idea. What was I saying? I was just asking if you like it. Anyways, this is a message for all the people in chats. Are there any of you who would say that you are an occasional or frequent user of a Game Scout's match stats spreadsheet? Yeah. I think technically this is still kinda hush-hush, but Markram said I could do whatever I want, so... And I'm definitely gonna want some user testing, so... Okay, that's impossible. Sort of fed up with hush-hush. Yeah, there's no reason. I think we're gonna make the repo public, and... I'm gonna be trying to conduct interviews. But it's happening. And the plan is beautiful. I don't know how many of you have like full stack front end experience in chats, but what we're gonna do is we're going to load the entire match stats database into a singular SQLite file, and then send this SQLite file to every single user that goes onto the websites. And so, as a result of doing this, we are going to be able to host it for 100% zero cost. How's it going, Andrew? I got my stream title from Uma Musume. Yeah, it's a quote from the Grass Wonder campaign. Like I was scrolling through the top posts on the subreddits, and there were like a couple of threads on like the actual horses passing, and this quote popped up, and I just really liked it. Yeah, glad you were able to show up again. Imagine if we could have done like we could have like figured out volleyball again. But yeah, so the plan is, this was Warframe's suggestion, and I am so on board with the idea, that our lead UI designer is going to be Scouts. Because for all intents and purposes, he literally is. He has been for the entirety of the project. So what he's like already like extremely skilled in are going to be things like templating via sheets and Photoshop mockups. TetrisReference.com. Which one is this again? Oh, we could do that. I actually that sounds way better than Match Stats. Than Match Stats website, which is our working title for it, because nobody's thought of like a better name. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about this. Like, I don't know, maybe Sports Reference gets angry for, like, no reason at all, but it's a vibe. But yeah. How does the Scouts stats compare to the Match Database? Match Database is less, like, detailed statistics, but way more data. So I think even though that's existed for a lot longer, I guess the full context is there's been a long-standing desire to get the entirety of the community off of spreadsheets. Because spreadsheets are... Google Sheets, especially at the scale that we have ended up residing at, are slow, they're cumbersome, they're hard to search for. And validation is a mess. So there are three, like, I would say main projects that are all, like, spreadsheetsified. Alright? The oldest one is the Match Database. Alright? Just a record of, like, every player, like, whether they win or lose. After that... there is, the leaderboards. The leaderboards were started shortly after by Hydra Dude. And prior to that, it was like a Tetris Concept forum page maintained by Alex Kerr. And then, the most recent edition, and even this is like 3-4 years old by now, is Scout's stats database. And like this guy, this guy is a freaking workhorse, man. Like even now, he's still they're still working hard on adding adding missing regionals and like trying to make everything as like complete as like he envisions it, pretty much. But yeah. So I think of these, like the match stats database is, even though it's the newest, I think it's actually the best candidates for being the first thing that we convert to our websites. The overall match database, there's been stuff in the works for years, but that always gets like tossed to the side for one reason or another. Use code from the Absolute Plus. Absolute Plus is too good. I think. Like, it will be very smart to take advantage of the site's existence. Alright, look at it for, like, UI design, for, like, how they, like, model certain objects, for sure, but our things are going to be going down a very different path. As a leaderboard site, yeah. No, it's an incredibly good product. Like I think like the only thing that could rival it is like whatever they do in Tetrio, because Tetrio is just impressive. Are you gonna only use his data or compile it for the other ones? His data is like the only data for the most parts, because anybody who like ends up collecting their own data will eventually just donate to Scouts. So chief among them was hugely helpful in a lot of the early days with Marprem. And now we have now we have like a lot of people who are like each like in charge of like their own like smaller components. Like Hana and I think Sonic are doing dash stats. Lucy and Andrew have taken over CTM. Andrew Meath. So and we already have a lot of progress on the actual database construction itself. And this is thanks to not anybody that like you would really know. This is kind of crazy lore. But there's a guy named... Actually, I don't know. In case he doesn't want to be like that... In case he doesn't want to be like that, like, high profile, I won't say too much, but like he's basically like designed the entire like database to the point where I have something that I can use to like template the website. I believe Sonic is done or will be done. Okay, good. MFL is similar path. Good. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. There's too much in this community that needs running, and like few people that actually want to run things. It's the case with us. It's the case with Osu. It's just so hard. What do you mean good? Like, taking time for yourself? Like, not being permanently shackled to, like, a data entry job? Or, like, by follow a similar path, you might... Do you mean that you're gonna start? Oh, that's not really why she... Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. I know. Is Scouts data? Why doesn't the match databases? Okay, so Scouts data is like only. He is using it for a lot of stuff, I think, but the actual like matches that he's covering is far less because there's a lot more work going into each like match. Like at the beginning it was only Masters matches, now there's like CTL and like a lot of DAS events, and they're adding regionals, but a lot of like other like online things are not going to be tracked. Like anything that's considered a friendly. Will not count. And honestly, maybe it should just be like that. Also, but like I think what Vanity's like used to, this are the kind of things he wants involved in the entire database. If matches are all done through NTC, it would be possible. And it's... I've wanted to like figure out how to like reasonably like go back and like automate NTC, because if we could provide the replays, then that's literally like everything. That would be so good. But like I want P sequence. I want match stats that like can tell me droughts. Or like be able to like search for the grand designs. I mean, okay, you're never gonna get that though, because people Nesses will never become the minority share. Like, we have to, like, collectively migrate to a different game. I don't know, maybe you're talking about something different than what I think you're talking about, but... Just read the round. Yeah, okay, yeah, there's that. Like, how does this scale to every match if, like, you're requiring... This is, like, hardware that not everybody's gonna have. Is the issue. It's not impossible. OCR can be... And the great thing about doing OCR with, like, the match stats database in particular is that we have a ton of sanity checks. And all of them are human-generated. Assume that it's a gym card replay. If you can... I mean, if you could put it down, if you can get it within $50, then it becomes more realistic, sure. But yeah. Everdrives are like, are they like mid-hundreds? No, I don't even remember. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, basically all this to say, and I should have said this 10 minutes ago while people were like actually still here, but if you have like feature requests for things that would be cool on the websites, let me know. I am feeling especially motivated right now because Boston, like genuinely because Boston was like had such a fantastic outcome. And what's even better is that we have a soft deadline. Who's Project Lead? Me. I think. And we have a couple people who have expressed interest. I think Cloudy... I don't know, if Cloudy wanted to take over, then like... I would say yeah, because like the guy is a god, but... I believe I have the most motivation at the moment. Wi-Fi and NESCART. Talk to Kuryava. They've actually prototyped shits, I think. And then I keep telling you to like mess with the Super Tilt Bros people. If you're just connecting to the PC, sure. I don't know, but I also think it's easier to spoof PC things, spoof the PC connection, than it is to like spoof a cartridge. So, I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter. If, like, everything is streamed, then you can obviously tell when P sequences are different. I guess, yeah, I guess that's sufficient. You're doing it anyway with the capture card, also good points. But one thing I wanted to mention that's, like, kind of cool about the way that we're doing the websites. So, just as a reminder, what we're doing is we are going to... basically send the entire database over when you load the page. And what this means is that if the database is already on the client side, then there is no disadvantage in allowing users to run malicious queries on the database. It's 3.5x. So on the first transfer, it will be significant, but we can cache it client-side. And then that means that every other time that you access the website, it will already be loaded. Like, as soon as it gets to something like... I don't know, like 20, 30, then it becomes a problem, but then again, think about, like, what we're comparing this to. In terms of, like, load times or whatever. Like, I'm gonna be trying very, very hard to target the 14 kilobytes per page, but... like, performance is not the greatest concern in the world because what we are, like, improving against is, like, so atrocious. 14 kilobyte, okay, so this is a magic number due to the way that, like, TCP works. You can look up 14 kilobytes for like a more detailed explanation. The idea is that this is like the amount of storage that is in 10,000 packets. And if you cannot fit within 10,000 packets, then the client and server will go for like another round of exchange. So that's like a doubling of the latency pretty much. And it just works out. It's a little more than 14,000, but the upshot is that the load difference between 14,000 and even like 15,000 will be noticeable, while like 15,000 and like 25,000 should be about the same. Networking is my strong suit. I learned about this from a Hacker News host, so it's not one of those things that like I would say is a networking fact. This is a rule of thumb that if you are on the internet, you respect, and then it just works. And there is an explanation, but you do not need to worry about it because it is consistent enough that you can safely treat it as fact, that kind of thing. But yeah. So, what I was trying to say is, what we can do is we can provide a custom query page where we just give like a text box and an enter button, and this will allow the user to make any SQL query they want against our database. And like, is this not insanely cool? Problem is not many people can use SQL, yeah. But for the people who can, we can maybe invest into something like what the sports reference sites do, and like have, or stat heads. I don't know. There's something that like the NBA subreddit in particular uses to generate the most obscene types of stats. And I remember looking into their query language, and a lot of it's like natural language based. ChatGPT wrapper page, yeah. You know, at work we have this. We actually like we have this, and it's like a model that's like optimized specifically for SQL, and it's actually really, really useful. Like, how do you think the match stats, the original match stats spreadsheet exists in the first place? Like, what do you think Scout was doing when he was busy cooking up the spreadsheets? When he was figuring out all the formulas? Dude, I'm not good right now. Google Bard. Oh, yeah. So, there's a lot of stuff that we can do, but we want to try, like, at least for the initial release, we're gonna try and stay pretty close to the pages that already exist. Because that's what people expect, I think. It's what, like, if we ask anybody who uses the sheets right now, they're gonna be like, I want to use the sheets. I want to use it the way that I use the sheets, except it's gonna be faster. We can let their imaginations for, like, higher, like, cooler features settle in later. But anyway, what I was talking about is that we do have a deadline. And that deadline is CTWC 2026. Scout had this idea that I think is extremely cool. And it is that we could have a banner on the homepage that basically says CTWC 2026 is happening in 3 days. Here is a webpage that has all of the players who we expect to be at the event, and here are their statistics and their recent performance. And imagine if we could do this for like a ton of major events too. Does this matter to a casual? Yeah, casuals are interesting. Casuals do not have any information because they don't join the Discord. Alright, they will watch YouTube, they will go to a website. But, like, a spreadsheet that you can only, like, find the link, like, kind of inside, that looks kind of jank. Probabilities, we could do an ELO thing. I tend to be against that. I think just, like, stick to basic numbers for the most parts. But, yeah. I don't know, it is... It's kind of conflicting for me, because I know that, like, artificial intelligence is, like, an extremely controversial topic, and there are many things it is objectively bad in ways, but, like, specifically for coding, I think it has genuinely been responsible for a dramatic increase in my mental health. Because, you know, like, the whole, like, the saying, like, I don't want AI to do my arts while I wash dishes. I want AI to wash dishes while I do my arts. Like, this is, I think, the current world that, like, coding is in. Alright, like, the stuff that LLMs do I can make it do all the things that I don't want to do, and it will achieve them very quickly. And then I can learn from it. It can generate lots of boilerplate very fast. It can template pseudocode incredibly fast. And if it is wrong, then I don't know if I would have done it better if I were doing it myself, and it would have taken 5 times as long. Like, that's the thing. There's this XKCD that I really like that talks about, like, how where, like, 2 of the characters are talking about the possibility of fooling self-driving cars by saying, oh, well, like, what if you, like, painted fake road signals on the roads? Wouldn't that confuse the cars that are using, like, image processing to determine when to, like, stop and start? And one of the other person in the conversation points out, doesn't that, like, confuse humans too? You know? A human can get out and remove the cone. Yeah, but how many of them are actually going to do that if you're just driving? My point is that, like, there becomes a point where, like, at least for coding, the hallucinations don't concern me that much because I don't think I would be doing, like, all that better by myself with me and my limited skill. And with good practices, we have systems to detect hallucinations. At least the worst effects of them. So, yeah. The scary thing is that it probably replaces my job at this point. Like, it's, I think, strictly better than I am. So then it becomes, like, kind of an artistic pursuit. I do not feel comfortable with outsourcing my thinking. For my flow, I do not see it that way. Like, I think translation is a good example. Actually, no, I don't know if it's the best example. Like, I do not like becoming dependent on a thing. So that's actually there's an interesting thing related to that I have discovered, and it is that I use AI at, like, work slightly less than I did at the beginning. And I believe it is because I know what I'm doing now. And just, like, having the pieces in place for me to, like, try it and, like, understand how it works. Like, rather than leading, like, internal company documentation that might be poorly maintained. Oh, nice, I finally got one. It has been very helpful in that regard, too. Yeah. On the other hand, we are having this conversation on the internet via Twitch, so perhaps it is similar to that. When I actually like writing state. Oh yeah, this is the stuff that I enjoy writing. I'm gonna be writing myself. I don't know, maybe I just don't like writing code. But I love, like, the more languagey parts of it. Just, like, the higher concept, like, planning, like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Alright. I know there is a function that does this, but I don't remember exactly what it is called in this particular language, so go find that function and use it for me. Like, I don't know, if Claude goes down, then I just code myself. And it's, like, especially for this project, like, the hardest parts are gonna be, like, the first few queries, and, like, setting up a singular example of, like, the entire workflow. The other hardest part is gonna be, like, basically taking on a project manager role, which is good. Like, how am I, like... I suppose the argument is that I could be getting dumber as a result of, like, using auto-generation tools more often. But I'm already not particularly smart, so... there's not much to, like, go down. And in case it needs mentioning, I am not trusting at everything completely. I read every diff before I commit. I can catch mistakes. Twitch is going to, yeah, and if this goes down, like, I guess so one factor is, like, if, like, it were to go down, then I would probably, like, code much, like, spend even less time coding, because I would, like, quote, wouldn't want to think about it, because... But this has been my problem since the very beginning of, like, trying to do any of this shit, so it's not different for me. There are a lot of things wrong with it, but, like... I have personally seen a lot of benefits from it, and I think one of the consequences is that we'll have a, very respectable batch stats websites in a few months if things go well. I could locally run a coding. Yeah! That would be cool too. PewDiePie has a video about this. He's just like... And it's just like him just like having like a ton of fun with a lot of, just like kind of messing around with stuff. And it seems pretty clear from like watching it that he's like actually like learning things too. It's... That was pretty good, actually. Yeah. PewDiePie still exists. Yeah. He uploads when he wants to. He has an audience. He is a Linux advocate right now. So, it's pretty cool. He had this... He's also, like, kinda cracked at arts, because he, like, actually did the thing where he practiced consistently every single day. I don't know. Even if it works, I mean, there are levels to this thing. Like, how can you be so sure that like your C compiler is generating correct assembly? I believe this is the classic argument, and I'm pretty sure there are counters, known counters to it, but I don't remember them right now, so I'm just gonna go with it and see what happens. Well, because the output's deterministic, yeah, but it could be wrong. Compiler bugs exist. I've reported, like, half a dozen of them for NestFab at this point. But those optimizations are deterministic. Is it deterministic? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of compilers are going to use ASLR, which by definition is random. You could say it's random in a way that's controlled, but it's not like you're going to be getting the exact same output every single time. Could be a runtime thing, but like compiler-wise, does it like matter? It is still something that like you're opting into that is not deterministic, that is part of... And I think it's built within the binary. Actually, that could be wrong. Regardless, like, even if it is generated around, like, never mind, never mind. I mean, are you sure? Let's see, heavily discourages. I don't know. Also, I'm not entirely sure why determinism is the relevant factor here. Like, I would assume it would be correctness. I would like to make... I don't know, because, like, if it doesn't make the mistake, then you just take that run. And then it won't make the mistake. Because then I'll learn and it can make that mistake every time. I don't know, like, you start like working with build systems. Like, you get to a certain point, you start dealing with build systems that are building 10 things in parallel across 5 different machines. And you see, like, random errors that just appear. Oh, the build failed, try again, so you press restart, and then it succeeds that time. And then you kind of just shrug and move on. But I don't know. I just feel like I understand the code base. It makes you feel any better, like the design and stuff was not really LLM generated. Like, I asked for advice on certain technologies and then looked at the actual websites of those technologies. As long as the back... I mean, you're talking... I guess I am the one on offense right now for this discussion. If it's AI generated, yeah. My plan is, like, anybody... I'm gonna have a meeting with all the people I want to talk to. Meeting with all the people I want on the projects. And... I'm doing a couple of things with them. One, I'm gonna tell them that, like, I encourage the use of vibes in certain situations. Two, I'm going to block anybody who tries to push to main and have them submit a pull request so that I can read the code. They did make an AI like a few years ago that like optimized. I forgot how artificial the environment was, but they were like optimizing sorting algorithms for specific cases, and this was like super low level stuff. And they found improvements even for like sorting like 4 items, I think. But like, I think the main idea is like you get to a small enough thing, you stick to a small enough cycle count, and the problem like paradoxically becomes easier in some sense because brute force becomes viable. Yeah, that sounds about right. Like, keep in mind you are also talking to perhaps the only other person in this chat that has experience with cycle counting. I mean, it's all time at the end of the day, right? Yeah. Well, like, GCC is not the only thing, right? Versus NESFAB, which is relatively new. I guess if we're talking about, like, personal experiences, yeah, but... Like, the greater point that I'm trying to make is that there is a level... Like, there is a threshold where you choose to trust that the higher, like, the converters from higher to lower level are going to function correctly, and if they function incorrectly, then you figure out why and fix it. So from what you have said, you have picked that threshold to be C. I think a lot of people are still there, and I think for like the super precise stuff, that is where it should stay. Like, I have never like gotten anything successful from an LLM regarding NestFab. The thing is, I haven't even tried. I think the strategy would be copy paste the syntax, copy paste the documentation page into whatever you're using, and then start asking it questions. But I haven't tried it, and it's not really that necessary because I'm not doing really hard things with NestFab. Deterministic threshold. I guess, in some sense, I think of my own brain like this. If you tell me to implement an algorithm that's like sufficiently complex on like 2 different days, I think I will do 2 very different things. With MOSFET datasheets? Interesting. Yeah. I remember I had fairly long conversations about like PCB design. I found the results to be pretty inconsistent. So like I would always make sure to like double check. I would always like try to like double check with like you or Guitar or like one of the Daniels that I know that like actually has experience with like making this kind of things. But it's also nice to get instant answers on things I don't know. And like think like, okay, I will work with this right now. Yeah. PCB design is funny, yeah. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of recommendations. I don't know. Perhaps I should. I don't see it giving me like a slightly incorrect answer, like the end of the world, because it's not like I'm gonna feel like I confidently understand it anyways. Because megahertz timescale, yeah. No, yeah, this gets to stuff that I just don't know anything about. Anything about the confidential conversation, that is. Blindly trust the results of anything that is deterministic of the principle. But like, I feel like the generated code is deterministic and it is possible for me to change it, so... I guess perhaps we're like kind of talking over to each other, so I can say that I'm not trusting the outputs. Like, in your view, is allowing it to generate like initial attempt an implicit show of trust? You agree? Okay. Because you are like relinquishing a slight amount of control. I don't know. I don't think it's binary by any means. Yeah. Okay, here's something. Here's maybe an experiment. Here's a question I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on. let's say I ask Gemini or whatever to move one file into a different folder and updates all the import statements. Do you believe this is something that, like, should be done manually? Or do you believe, like, we should, like, I should be, like, looking for a specific tool that can do this for me, that will do it, like, deterministically? If you can do that reliably, it can get it 100% of the time. We'll be generous and say 85. Wouldn't you just write a script to iterate through all the files? Or you could spend 5 seconds, 5 seconds just sending a text message. And then 10 seconds later, at most, it'll be done. And then what you do afterwards, you try and compile it, and if it doesn't compile correctly, then... oh, it messed up. I don't know, perhaps I've had some, like, pretty bad, like, I got lazy, and it did something that I didn't understand, and kind of just, like, I just kind of nodded and went along with it. This is mostly at work. But I just don't feel I would have been able to do better myself, is the thing. Doesn't VS Code have refactor? I think VS Code can do it. For whatever reason, like, no LSP has, like, built-in support for it because it's complicated for some reason. I believe there's a NeoVim plugin that's a work friend, like, pointed me towards that could take care of it. Yeah. But, like, I think there's always, like, with these kinds of comparisons, I think there's always a double standard, and this applies to both parties. Because the question is always, why do X when you can do Y instead? But anybody can respond to that with, why do Y when you can do X instead? So I suppose I'm, like, catering to your personal preferences, so I think I'm kind of arguing in bad faith here. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, like, a lot of my work is writing test cases. And what we have found is that Claude code is atrocious. Like, genuinely cannot do anything for shit, and I've experienced this firsthand at writing the first test case in a file. Alright, the second, the third, the however many afterwards, fantastic, because what it can do is it can do pattern matching. Yeah. And what it can also do, you can ask it to design a comprehensive test plan, and it will cover, like, you can list out all the cases that you want to make sure are covered, and then it can do all those and generate, like, 3 others that you think that you wouldn't want to do because they're quote too much efforts. But they're not that much effort anymore. Have I been doing floor mode the entire time? Yeah, I'm kind of de-rusting at this point. I haven't played in 2 weeks. And I want to make sure that my stats spreadsheet stays up to date, so until I feel ready to like get that out again, I'm not going to be playing real games. I will choose to ignore this information, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, what I'm just trying to say is, like, for coding in particular, like, I'm finding a lot of cases where it fits the niche of, it lets me do the things that I like while taking care of things that I don't like. Because I do not like writing test cases. I am okay with reading over them. And this is the other part. I have to be, like, so careful that, like, I'm actually just, like, not, like, trusting them blindly. And that, like, I make sure that, like, the numbers that it is using are, like, correct. And I know for sure that this has been an issue for some of the people I've had to review code for. Is really somewhere you have to eat your vegetables. Yeah, this is where I have the advantage. I think because I did sufficiently enough, like both from like minor like writing and like from the reading standpoint. The reading standpoint is more important though, because it appears that, like, despite everything, I'm learning from my mistakes. Is it still going? Yeah. Hi, Mariazzi. I'm having fun, like... Yeah, I don't know. I suppose I'm kind of getting into the trap of, like, I am, like, I am the guy who is, like, bringing up artificial intelligence in a lot of conversations. And that is, like, grating and annoying, and I know this because I feel the same way when other people do it. My company has this, like, kind of, like, tacit... I don't want to say approval, but, like, kind of approval of, like, the more autistic parts, and that just, like, I just try and be quiet in those situations. But yeah. I don't know. Should we talk about the website? I kind of want to keep talking about the website. I'm wondering if people have ideas. Now that we're moving Match Chats to a website, what features should we add? Like, one of the things that I really want to see, that I really want to get to is the query mode, like I said earlier. The other thing is charts. Because, like, maybe charts could exist on the Match Chats thing, on the Google Sheets right now, but they don't. Alright, so I want to see a histogram of every single game that a person has played and be able to filter it by year. And I want to be able to, like, overlay these Instagrams with, or I want to be able to overlay these histograms between multiple players. Alright, I think it's hard to see the results of a singular event. So we could add pages for that. AI natural language query. We were just, ICX mentioned this earlier. This is what started. So I guess we've had our full circle moment by now, and we can safely move on from the conversation. Yeah. Lots of data, sun and DV, but few people can write, yeah. I'll see some of like the engineers, they'll be like, hi, I found this issue, and I've like sort of like, I've done some research, here's a query to like explain it more. And like I pull it up and the SQL is like over 100 lines. And I just like, my mind just goes, whoa. The other day at work, I wrote an 80-line query, and I knew what I was doing the entire time, and it felt great. Not to go beating a dead horse, but I was using AI to generate the initial templates, and then I fixed its errors. And it took like several hours. I think it was technically like not being productive in the grand scheme of things, but I felt happy after I did it. What you get on a website is freedom. A lot more burden, but you're pretty, yeah. All devices from manufacturer A that violates the set of... I was reading old CGM threads, and like Kuryava made a joke about, oh my gosh, we should be oh my gosh, it's a brilliant idea to be like making a coding language that's like that looks like English so that people can understand it. We should call it like COBOL or something. How do you even query database chart parameters? Python, yeah. SQL-wise, like, you model everything as, like, kind of a two-dimensional spreadsheets, and you basically have, like, a bunch of two-dimensional spreadsheets, and you're able to connect them through, like, common values. Yeah, link tables. Yeah. Relationship graph models that get complicated. Yeah, I'm hitting my quick taps. The difference between like 60 and 50 hertz for like a single frame input is like pretty substantial, actually. like what? It's like 16 versus 20 milliseconds. I think. Like when I look at when I compare that kind of stuff for Osu, it's like a big deal. Yeah. And yeah, my workplace, we don't really have like query people. It's kind of just like if you are on a team that like has certain data, then you're supposed to be able to understand the data for like every way imaginable. So like you kind of learn how to either you learn how to write queries, or you learn how to like ask Hubert AI to at DZN Duke. Back in my day, those were joins. Siloed applications, yeah. I missed it. No. Everything is too big now. Redemption. Well. I guess. Okay, going back to website. What stats do we need? Let's maybe think less like about like power user type stuff and more about. Let's think YouTube Normie. Oh my gosh, I haven't been reading YouTube chat all this time. No, there hasn't been that much. What do they want to see? And I believe the answer is that they want to see a leaderboard that says that one player is #1 and that everyone else is ranked lower. So I think, honestly, yeah, I think our homepage leaderboards are like sufficient for that. But there's a lot more flexibility with us being able to choose what we put on the homepage. Statistics that can be used to generate hype. Yeah, we gotta invent something. Because now everybody thinks that like Crash has like already happened, so or like Rebirth has already happened. So like I think even like real Rebirth won't really do it. By the way, have you been watching Waffy's runs? He's been making impressive progress. I don't know if he has the endurance for just like the raw lines, yet, but like his mechanics are good. It's been so long since someone's Crash. Oh yeah, me. Going back to website stuff. Do you want to help out? A really natural language game analysis AI. I wish. You've seen Noah's new tool though, right? Noah Dangler's new tool. Surely. I think that's really cool. I think he's creating cool visualizations. I've had my own plans for like my own like method of like sort of going through it. But I haven't done it because I don't start projects. Be so down to help with design stuff. Alrighty. So I'm gonna try and ask everybody to like meet. It would be Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I forgot what time zone you are in, so if that as long as that's something comfortable for you, we'd love to have you there. Hand cam compendium. Yeah, so 12 p.m. Surely that is like so chill. Hepta, one of his most recent streams has that. I don't believe it is open source yet. Because it is still, I think it's still very much in the experimental phase, but it's cool. It's like he is designing the tool that like he wants to use, so, and I believe given his reputation that matters quite a bit. Tetris instant replays. I know Moodus has talked about this before. He said I remember he's saying he didn't like it. We definitely should, because it goes like the individual moments happen way too fast. I wonder if this is something we could do with like NTC. Like have NTC render the replay live. As soon as a cool moment happens, like, have somebody else, like, scrub back a little, mark a piece. And then we could have a view that, like, kind of starts the replay from that piece. AI suggestion to commentary about... Are we bringing back max bots from the grave? Commentator chooses moving. I was just, doesn't like Overwatch have a play of the game, had a play of the game type of thing like since like forever? Like I imagine this is like a common like first-person shooter thing, but I don't know that many first-person shooters. Maxbot was just Scorbuda, I guess. Yeah. Backseating slow-mo replay rematch. Yeah, I wonder how we would do it. Like, would we want to I think standard instant replay is to like do everything like at the end of the game, but I imagine there could be a purpose where you could pull up like a certain board in like the bottom right corner and have the commentator sort of talk over it. But then it would be distracting from the game. I wonder why Tetrio doesn't have this. Like surely spike detection or survival are like things that are detected that can be like recorded. The natural round breaks, yeah. Somebody made a spike detector for bot. Oh, that's sick. Tetrio is so impressive to me. Like, the fact that Wily is just, like, able to kind of just, like, do SSL. And that the Tetrio engine is, like, flexible enough that, like, somebody who is not even the main developer is able to kind of just, like, implement, like, any gimmick Wily wants. That's, like, kind of crazy, right? Player improvement over time. So are you thinking like visual type things? Like I assume we have like the player stat sheets, which like breaks down by year, which can show that, but I don't think the stat sheet exactly the most like user friendly. TWC has a manual. But the AI clips to the folder. Yeah, I think that's the way that we would do it if we were to end up doing it. But, like, yeah, 10-minute matches is difficult. Yeah. And yeah, Ambu, sorry, like, the actual, like, match DB stuff has, like, still never happened. Like, it's honestly kind of horrific, but surely we will get to it eventually. Yeah, this is why I like Pastor Masters. This is why I made. This is why I made like level 19 transition at 100 lines for my events. I think I actually really like the pacing of that. It felt very comfortable. Depending on how we balance the next one, like I might make that a staple. Yeah. So, I mentioned that our UI lead was going to be Scouts. And I don't think there is like a better option for this, but one of the consequences is that Scout has very specific interests. And he brought this up when we were talking the other day. Like his use cases for the site are probably very different from the average user, and he's probably gonna want to focus on the stuff that he wants. So this is where I think having meme really super useful, because like second perspective, and from what I assume, more experience with like conventional UI design. Like I know Scout loves the stat sheets, man. Got into on my MatchDB ELO stuff that is sustainable. Okay, that's cool. Onpu wants to raise my tax. 19 trans at 65, 29 trans at 1. I don't know. Not enough room to let the digs kind of play out. I think 100 lines. I'm a fan of 100 lines at least. It kind of just makes sense. What do you mean? Okay, it's getting pretty late. Yeah. I need to take care of some like administrative tasks for the project too. Like it's kind of fun. Like I was when I started working at my company, and like this was also the case when I had interned there, but it was with a different team, so it felt completely different. I thought it was just like so cool that the people who were like giving me their first projects were like able to like see it like from the beginning to the end. Like they were able, like they had just like such an understanding of what we were doing that they could like figure out, oh, not only this is something we need to do in the future, but this is also something that's can be implemented by somebody who is kind of just learning how everything works at the time, and will also be like instructive enough for them to like actually start effectively learning on what's going on in a specific area, and can follow up and like this is that. And now, like, I have this opportunity to basically do that for the websites. So, kind of a lot of pressure because I think some of the, like, the people working on it, like the front end at least, aren't like the most experienced either. So I gotta be careful that like I'm giving them like reasonable things. But it should be a really good learning experience for me. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, I'm so good! Oh, baby. So much of, like, the reason that I'm playing floor mode is primarily to go for the frame perfect wall charges. That is how you stay alive. Oh my god, I'm so good. And the quick taps are like a nice bonus, but we want to be like avoiding them during the actual games. Oh, I'm so bad. Oh, fuck. Because I'll play a couple of real games. I'm not gonna count these for my stats, but the thing is, when you're playing at the bottom row, you do not want a wall charge. Wall charges are risky. What you want to do is you want to like wall charge, if you're going to do it, by going all the way to one wall, hope that you get a good piece, then go to the other wall. And because you have access to 5 taps, your survivability has the potential to just be crazy. Alright, that wall charge I went for, but like walls like these, you hit them any day of the week. And I want to be building up a lot of two whites. Okay, no, I don't feel bad for losing to that. How Dasmax happened, yeah, 1.4, it's kind of weird. I'm not the best at this right now, and that's a problem for, like, wanting to be the first to get colors. Worker is definitely better. I do not know if he's playing the game, so that would be an advantage for me. Tugi is probably better, and he certainly is playing the game. So yeah. There's a lot of, like, things you want to be doing. Yeah, quick tap. That was frame perfect, I think. Like, for example, if you want to do a one shift, you should lose dash. I think for two shifts, you should lose dash too. And the reason is that you can do a charge tap, or like what Tega calls the extended tap. What everyone calls the extended tap, but I like charge tap better because this is the name that I came up with. Alright, and the nice thing about extended taps is that they are going to be more consistent than skill stopping because you control the start and the end. Where if you're like trying to do like a skill stop, the starts is kind of dependent on entry delay timing, and that is something you have to predict or be like conscious or subconscious about. So that's T-piece. And I think I'm like I think I'm intuitively also like only doing it when the walls are like shorts. Yeah. Yeah. Two wides are great because you can wall charge over them. Yeah, like these, I did not dash any of those pieces, but I had close to full dash by the end of all of them. And I'm pretty sure, I think that's more consistent for me than skill stopping. The nice thing about it being PAL is that the amount of frames to fully charge dash is also less. It's 12 versus 16. Or maybe it's 11? I might be off by one. So yeah, now we're basically at the situation... and we die. Getting up like even too high is just so disastrous. How sure? I think it's 12. It could be 14. Game audio dying. I do not know how to resolve that. What does dying mean? Oh, what's good, Wee Rambo? It can fix itself. Crap, one for like 30 seconds solid. Interesting. That could be. Was that the case for other people? It could be my yeah, just like pulse audio actually sometimes. No, it's like Pipewire pulse audio. I don't know. Yeah. The other thing that is useful is like building up the rights. So I said two wides are one pattern. Another one is like left, like kind of like right stack like this because you get comboable situations. I wonder if this kills me. Can I get out of this? Nope. Oh, but the mechanics are feeling good. Okay. PAL crash grid. Mayhaps. I love the PAL sound effects. Just the pitches feel so warm. Building up the right with the long bar is good. And then the other thing is that if you can build up the left, you absolutely should. So it's not always like a strict like right well versus left well thing. It is like stack, like be aggressive about what pieces you stack to the left, and depending on how that works. Your stack may look different. That was goofy. I did not need to do that. Like that's so, those are so nice because the wall charge is easy. It is not one semitone, it's a third. I think. Because it's like 50 versus 60 hertz, ratio of 5 to 6. That's like either a major or minor third, I forgot which one. Or no, I might be tweaking, I know they pitch corrected some. Did they pitch correct some things? Is it a semitone? Done. D in it. Oh, okay. Anti-5 tap left building. It's not even anti-5 tap though, because like if you have the wall charge and your next piece is the bar and the left is like clear enough, you go for the bar. You go for the bar left. It's more like easy stacking, I think. I had to go for a wall charge there. I don't know if it mattered though. I want to get 100 and then I'll call it. Oh, that was my fault. Part of the skill is also getting comfortable with not having. I guess this is more a me thing. But like getting comfortable with like making skill stops without knowing your total dash charge. Especially like with like the 15 hertz, the 12 and a half hertz window versus the 10 hertz window. I think that's pretty substantial for consistency. No! There was no points! What was my score? Fuck! Hefta, what are your current thoughts on Norg puzzles? Do you still, like... At this point, your accuracy rate is, like, at least 95, right? For, like, 90s, I don't do puzzles. Omega base. I discovered the John Hamm dancing meme last night, and apparently it's been, quote, everywhere, but I don't have TikTok, so I don't see these things until it makes its way onto YouTube. It's quite good. The IT industry, yeah. Don't you know? At the end, it's like one wrong for 60, 70. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oh. One of the big things that Dingler wanted to do with his tool was to like have different board generation, because he liked the board generation on like Greg's Tetris Trainer a lot more. So what this could be good for you, because it could be more new situations. Alright, I can go to bed. Wait. I can go to bed now! Let's go! And all of you can go to bed from the sounds of it. We'll finish this out. Maybe I can get a 200. Maybe I can get a transition. Oh, nope, it's not happening. Ansel prune the set. Interesting. Yeah. Now that's it's a limit to like having it be like a gamified system. Good game design involves normalizing. I think involves normalizing things in a way that like aren't necessarily the best for the power users. What is Bazit? The operating system for the next generation of game. What is this? First Reddit post. Why Bazit is not considered good for a PC build? I want to. Oh no, it's a guy asking an honest question. If I had a dedicated PC for gaming hooked up on my TV exclusively, I would definitely install Bazits. But I use my PC for software development and other stuff, so I need a different distro. Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's cool. Alright, I'm gonna find somebody to raid. Let me tilt the microphone this way so you can actually hear me. I think I might stream tomorrow. We'll see. I want to kind of raid someone and just dip for the day, so I'm gonna raid Harry. Where's okay slash? Okay, Mima will send you a message.
Oh my god.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around, everyone.
Wow, dude, I think that's like
not that bad for a return stream.
To absolute shit in like a few seconds. Oh my god.